Hey everybody, John Van Dyke here for New Jersey Exposed. Today is Wednesday, May 27th, 2020. Time's around 12:20 p.m. New Jersey time. So many of you already know there's a story that came out of Minneapolis of a Minneapolis police officer who had a black man down on the pavement and he had his knee into his neck, and eventually this black man was suffocated to death. He died. And I've watched the video. I'm not going to include it in this video. I'll give you the link if you're still living in a cave and haven't seen it yet. But it's very despicable what I saw. You had a black man who was down in handcuffs, and this officer continued for at least 5, 10, I want to say 10 minutes at least, with his leaning his knee into this man's neck and suffocating him, cutting his circulation off his brain. This guy died, and this officer, he did it purposely. He just nonchalantly had his knee on that man's neck, and I can just figure out what's going through that guy's mind. He'd probably say, fuck this nigger, I'm gonna choke this motherfucker out. And that's probably what his whole attitude was. This is a black-hating, racist pig that's on the department. And then you have this other officer of Asian background standing there defending what this officer's doing, rather than go over and say, hey, you need to ease up. The guy's in handcuffs. He's not a threat to anybody. But he didn't. He protected that officer by trying to keep the people recording and saying things away from him. And by the time the medics showed up, and before that, none of those officers checked that man to see if he was breathing or anything. The man kept saying, I can't breathe, please help, stop. And eventually he stopped saying anything, and that continued for several minutes. And then the EMS showed up and they rolled him over, and that's when you can see that he's in handcuffs. The man is lifeless. They put him on the stretcher and took him off to the hospital, where later he died. Now it's been updated now that 4 of the officers on that scene have been fired, which is great. None of this nonsense. What else gets me is they say there's going to be an investigation. It'll take about 3 weeks. 3 weeks? It should take you 10 fucking minutes to figure it out. Just look at that. Look at the demeanor on that officer. Look at the demeanor. That officer needs to be brought up on murder charges. Period. And the officer standing there and any other officer that enabled that and didn't do anything should be brought up on accessory to murder. Plain and simple. No other charges. But who knows? Something's going to happen because there's too many people involved now. So now the department can't cover it up as they so much like to do all the time. So things are not going to have a good outcome for these officers. Now, no doubt that the officer's lawyer, the officer who killed that man, his lawyer, they're going to be trying to rewrite the narrative. No doubt the police officers involved are going to redo the officers' reports to try to redo the narrative. I don't know how it's going to work for them because they're, thank goodness, once again, the camera has exposed bad police. The camera is our biggest weapon against these blue zero heroes. It's just amazing. It's a non-violent tool, and it just exposes them. Because prior to the camera, these cops were operating in secrecy. Yep. And whenever anybody tried to report that or say anything, oh, he's just, he's angry because he got caught or this, that, they always blame the person being arrested and gave the cops a pass. And now the next thing I found really troubling, but not surprising, is they asked I believe it was the president of the police union out that way, what they thought. And they released a statement saying, don't rush the judgment. What a crock of crap. When they arrest you and I for something, they're very quick to rush the judgment. They throw all the dirt out there on you, but when it's one of theirs, don't rush the judgment. I don't have to rush the judgment. I watched that video for 10-15 minutes and I made my judgment. I saw all I needed to see. A man down on the ground, on his face, with handcuffs on, who's already restrained. He's no threat to anybody at this point. And an officer sat on top of him with his knee into his neck and choked him out. And he died. Simple as that. So now we have riots breaking out in Minneapolis. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm all for it. I hope they burn the whole goddamn city down. The city offices, that is, not their own neighborhoods. And it reminds me of time back in 1980, May of 1980. Some of you out there around long enough to remember, down in Miami, Florida, there was a white officer who shot a black kid and killed him. And the whole city of Miami erupted in flames. I know because 3 days after I stepped off the plane in Miami, the riots all started. There was a lockdown. You couldn't leave. I was actually in a go-go bar in Miami, and the cops came in there and said everybody had to go, that they had locked the city down because, and I could hear all the sirens going. You could see the smoke off in the distance. It was pretty bad. I don't know what became of that officer. I'm sure he probably got a promotion. So once again, we have a white officer killing a man senselessly. This is another Eric Gardner, excuse me, situation where we have some thugs killing. And I'm surprised that they fired him right away, but they did. And no doubt because of that firing, the taxpayers are going to be paying out millions of dollars to that family for what they did. So we'll see how this all plays out. I hope I hope they burn all the police departments down and wreck all the cop cars over there and send a message that we're not taking this crap anymore. And hopefully these officers will be charged with murder. And finally, where are all you good cops? I keep hearing every day, we only got a few bad cops out there. The rest of the cops are hardworking. They put that badge on and then they're brave and they're protecting us and all that crap. Bullshit. They're all one bird, different feathers on the same bird. That's all they are. But I've yet to see any police department Facebook page, hey, we don't agree with it. This is not us. This is road cop. We don't want these kind of officers. No, they will never say anything about it. To this day, how many years I've been doing this now, I'm still waiting for cops to come out, or a group of cops come out, make a video and say, you know what, we don't agree with this. This is not us, and we don't want these kind of cops around. They don't. They don't. As one former cop told me, it was a cop I used to work with, he was retired. He said there's 3 things that you don't do. You don't go to work hungry, you don't work wet, and you don't snitch on your brother. And that came straight from a cop's mouth. And this is what you see every day out there. These cops, they break their oaths. The only oath they have is to their fellow cops. There's no oath to the Constitution that they took. That's bullshit. That's just that's propaganda. That whole thing. That is absolute propaganda. We're seeing that every day. And they just kill people and nothing seems to happen to them. They get away with it all the time. They violate people's rights. And ultimately, who pays? The taxpayers pay. And these cops end up getting promotions. Alright people, I know most of you have seen the video. The link will be in the description in case you didn't see the video. And let me know what you think about this in the comments section. I'm sure it's going to be all outrage. And there'll probably be at least one jackass that gives me a thumb down. This is Sean Van Dyke for New Jersey Exposed. Till next time, people.